Not everybody likes conflict in their life. It's drama and it's stressful. But in a novel, we live for it. Conflict in a novel is important. It keeps the story from being boring and it helps the characters develop as the story goes along. If you have a story that you're working on or that maybe you have in your head, but you're trying to figure out what conflict or what problems to present around the story, this video is going to list a few simple ways that I use to figure out what my conflicts are going to be for my novel. Let's talk about them. Before you can start going through the conflicts and what they should be for your story, you have to first know what your main character wants more than anything. Like in Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, Wade wants to win the hunt. He wants to find the egg. He wants that freedom, that money that comes with it. He wants it more than anything. In the Hunger Games, Katniss just wants to survive. The conflict for those stories is everything that goes wrong in between, the things that conflict and keep them from getting the things they want. So if you don't know what your main character wants, you don't know how to make them miserable in the process of trying to get it. The first type of conflict that comes to my mind is what I call a natural conflict. For example, let's say your main character, their goal is to go on a voyage to get to another part of the world to start over with a new life. A natural conflict, or as I call it a natural conflict, are the natural things that go wrong that are out of his control. Like if he's taking a voyage at sea, then maybe there's a shipwreck, a bad storm, maybe there's a sea monster if it's that type of fantasy dark kind of story. Maybe there's illness or disease on the ship. Maybe a fire breaks out on the ship and they're in the middle of the ocean. Those are what I call natural conflicts, things that didn't necessarily get caused by other people that just happen to go wrong that are preventing your main character from getting what they want. The second type of conflict that I sometimes use is what I call character conflict. It's when one of my other characters in my stories, their goals conflict drastically with what the main character wants. Once again, to use Ready Player One as an example, Sorrento also wants the egg. He wants to win so he can control the oasis. That is a major conflict, and both characters can't get what they want. In our example of our ship story, where there's someone taking a voyage across the sea, that conflict could be as simple as a pirate. Maybe they've got their own goals. They're trying to pillage and plunder and make some riches for their own gain. That's definitely going to hold up your main character from starting a new life abroad. There could also have been a mutiny on board. Maybe the crew members aren't getting what they want and they decide to rebel against the captain and everything is out of control. That's definitely going to hold up your main character and be an interesting read. If you're dark like me, I would probably be tempted to throw a serial killer or a murderer somewhere on board. Some mysterious passenger may be killing off other passengers and crew, and you're trying to figure out who it is and how you're going to survive until you can get to the new land. I really need help. I have an unhealthy love for stories with dead people. We're going to pray on that. Another common conflict that you can use is actually self-conflict, or at least that's what I call it. It's where what the character wants is being hindered because of the character's own actions. A lot of times you see that with people with maybe a drinking problem, a gambling problem. Maybe the guy who's trying to take this voyage to start over racked up a whole bunch of debt and his problems are following him. Maybe he gets an opportunity to gamble on the ship and now he's back in more debt. Maybe someone's following him. Maybe he can't have the things he wants just because he can't behave himself for 5 seconds to get what he wants. That is definitely a conflict. Frustrating, I think, to read, but definitely interesting at the same time. Being the evil stinker that I am, one of my favorite things I like doing when I'm plotting a story is I make a list of everything that can go wrong. So like in my book, Last Glimpse, I know that I throw Prue into a digital prison for something that she hasn't actually done yet. And I know what she wants more than anything is to prove her innocence and get out. So I actually made a list of every possible thing that I could think of that could go wrong in that story. Bullies, droids, malfunctions, prison riots, explosions, someone trying to kill her. I basically threw everything but the kitchen sink at her in my plotting process. Not everything I write down for my plot actually makes it into the book. I actually make a list of at least 12 things, circle the ones that I feel like are exciting and interest me, or that I think will help move the plot forward or fit perfectly with the other characters in the story. And those are the ones I focus on for the actual story. And you should have fun with the list. I'm sure you love your characters, but take 5 minutes to step away from your character and play devil's advocate and really F up their life. Make them work for that happy ending. Once you have a good list of all the conflicts and things that can go wrong with your story, especially when you consider natural conflict, the character conflict as well as self conflict, it should actually be kind of fun to rip apart the character's life and put them back together again. Definitely let me know in the comments what despicable ideas and conflicts you have for your stories. I want to hear all of them. I love this part of the plotting process. Please share. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Bye.